Okay. Hey guys, my name is Lauren Zito, and in today's speech, I will be trying to persuade you on the topic of economic terrorism. I know the world is up in arms right now after the recent election results, as well as some of the other things going on in the world as we speak. I feel this was a good topic to bring to light and try to get everyone on board. My background for this topic includes a couple of political science classes at Auburn University and just watching some of the recent riots and news broadcasts on television here in the past couple weeks. I hope that you will listen and consider carefully the problem that I present to you, and yeah. So, Donald Trump is the new president-elect. That happened. Some of us are excited for our future, and some of us are potentially frightened. A quote by Donald Trump is, if something is going to affect your life, it's better to know as much as you can about it. And with that, I present to you the topic of economic terrorism. Protesting that results in disorderly conduct and destruction of property should be a criminal offense. You do have a right to protest, but you do not have a right to do harm to individuals or property, or their property for that matter. Peaceful protest is protected by the Constitution. However, things like rioting, looting, destruction, those are not protected by the U.S. Constitution. The First Amendment to the Constitution covers the right of people to peacefully assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances, and that was from the constitutionus.com. Torching property, breaking windows, damaging storefronts, these acts of protest should be punished. What good does damaging others' belongings do? What point does that get across? It seems as though people are using their anger to be destructive because they know that they will not get punished. That should change. In the state of Washington, Senator Doug Erickson said that he is preparing a bill that will essentially create a law that would allow felony prosecution of protesters who block streets, cause property damage, threaten jobs, put public safety at risk, or public safety officers for that matter at risk. Senator Doug Erickson said, I respect the rights to protest, but when it endangers people's lives and property, it goes too far. And that was from USA Today. The bill, which is being prepared for next year's legislative session, would allow felony prosecution of those who intentionally break the law in an attempt to intimidate or coerce private citizens for the government by obstructing economic activity. And that quote was from the Washington Post. Erickson also said that penalties will also apply to those who fund, organize, kind of sponsor, otherwise encourage others to commit acts of economic terrorism. Compliance may actually be required to pay restitution up to triple the amount of the economic damage. Erickson tried to clarify that they're not going after people who commit these acts of terrorism. However, they are going after the people who fund them. Wealthy donors should not feel safe in disrupting middle-class jobs. The proposed measure will charge the individuals with a Class C felony, the lesser of all the felonies, which could result in up to 5 years of prison or, I believe, $10,000 fine. That is very different from a misdemeanor, where little to no action takes place. With this bill, there would be real consequences for the actions taking place. I think a Class C felony is a fine price to pay for economic disruption, jeopardizing human life and property. Don't you? To answer a quick question, yes, Erickson was Trump's deputy campaign director, but that is not how this bill came to light. It actually had started or been in the works now for about 3 months or so. So let me just kind of talk about that. This bill was actually drawn up because of the oil train protests in Washington state. He was aiming at punishing the environmentalists, tribal activists, and any of the others who illegally obstructed oil and train pipelines and any of the similar projects, because it was, going on in other places too. People are basically blocking railroad tracks. That's like standing in the middle of a highway and being like, come hit me. Someone's going to get hurt. Disorderly conduct, failure to disperse, trespassing, that's 3 misdemeanor charges right there. Erickson has said that he completely supports our First Amendment right to protest, but he does not believe that we have a First Amendment right to block a train. People have even started setting up tents on the same railroad tracks that they were protesting, which is just why? Yes, I understand misdemeanors are punishment, but it's obviously not doing the job. There are laws already in place that allow police to remove demonstrators from, blocking streets or railways. And in the past few months, dozens of protesters have already been arrested on misdemeanor trespassing charges for blocking the freight and passenger trains in Washington. But since that's not working, why not go ahead and up the punishment? Peaceful protesting is not disruptive and it is not harmful. I found a few quotes online and I wanted to share them. I felt that they kind of related well to this topic. There's a quote by Gandhi that says, "In a gentle way, you can shake the world." And that one just really spoke out because you don't have to break windows, you don't have to block train passageways to get your point across. You can stand there and wave your sign and protest without being disruptive and get your point across. There was another quote I found that was, "Remember, you will create peace only when you are peaceful." The author for that quote was unknown. I know that the proposed bill might sound harsh and the words economic terrorism may seem out of context to some, but I hope you leave here today seeing a difference between peaceful protest and rioting. With this bill, our lives would become safer and it would make this world just a little less crazy. Thank you for listening.